People can say what they want about me on the internet, but when it comes to Caitlin Clark or any other damn player not getting treated right, I'm going to speak up and speak out about it.
Involving the WNBA, because now we've got an opinion commentary piece from the Wall Street Journal. Now,
yeah, I would like for her to just play through it sometimes, but I get it too because she's getting slapped, she's getting held, and those are the things that injured her.
Certain fouls on certain players, but especially when it comes to Caitlin Clark, it's just almost like they want her to get hurt.
Did a simple basketball shove just turn into a potential civil rights case? In one game, Chennedy Carter's hit on Caitlin Clark set off a storm, but here's the thing. Fans are saying it's not an isolated moment. Unpunished fouls, silent league leaders, and now, a congressman's letter demanding answers.
Some moments, and I think a perfect example is from whom you just saw, Chennedy Carter, but I think also to learn from this situation.
This isn't just sports drama. It could be the start of something far bigger. What happens when the WNBA's biggest star isn't protected on the court and the whole country notices? Quick favor before we move on. If you appreciate this content, consider giving this video a like and subscribing to the channel. Believe it or not, more than 83% of viewers haven't subscribed yet. It's free and only takes a second, but it means the world to us. So did you subscribe already? Great, thank you so much for your support. Now back to the video. What starts as a shove in the middle of a tense game now has Congress asking questions. It happened fast. Clark was moving off the ball, her eyes locked on the play, when Chennedy Carter stepped into her space and gave her a hard shoulder that sent her stumbling.
And what we just witnessed happen between Chennedy Carter and Caitlin Clark. I want to be absolutely clear. No one condones what Chennedy Carter did to Caitlin Clark on that one play.
The crowd noise flipped in an instant, half gasped, half roared. Some fans jumped to their feet, waiting for a whistle, but it never came. Clark got up, adjusted her jersey, and kept going, but the energy in the arena had shifted. You could feel the tension in every possession that followed. And here's the thing, this moment didn't come out of nowhere. By the time Carter made that shove, Clark had already taken hits in other games, sometimes from multiple defenders barreling into her.
I've been one saying that I definitely believe her civil rights has been broken. She has been simply assaulted damn near every time she's been on the court.
And I'm glad it's coming from the commentators because a lot of people think that Caitlin's just out here flopping, just out here doing nonsense.
And officials letting it go. In one matchup earlier this season, she was knocked to the floor twice in one quarter with no foul called. In another, an arm caught her square in the ribs as she went for a rebound, and play just continued. Over time, it started looking less like missed calls and more like a pattern a lot of people couldn't ignore. Fans didn't just talk about it, they started tracking it.
But you have to call a spade a spade. It was a cheap shot. But if we're speaking on what the entire sequence of events were that Chennedy alluded to.
On social media, clips popped up from game after game, slowed down and replayed, each showing Clark taking contact without protection from the refs. Analysts began mentioning her treatment on broadcasts, pointing out that other rookies, even less high-profile ones, seemed to get the whistle more often.
People can say what they want about me on the internet, but when it comes to Caitlin Clark or any other damn player not getting treated right, I'm going to speak up and speak out about it.
At some point, you do have to protect these players, all right? I get it. You want it to be gritty and all that, but fam, there was a lot of slapping and holding up in there.
The numbers made the point stand out even more. Clark's rate of shooting fouls drawn per game was noticeably lower than the league average for starting guards in their first year, despite her driving to the basket as much, if not more, than many of them. When the league was asked about it, the response didn't exactly calm anyone down.
It's a difference between physicality and then street ball, all right? It's a huge difference between that. We have to make sure we protect these players.
Night in, night out. Part of the reason why she's not playing right now is because of this beating.
An unnamed spokesperson gave a brief statement saying they would look into physical play concerns.
Because somehow, some way, they embrace victimhood on a part of Caitlin Clark. It could be a problem.
Involving the WNBA, because now we've got an opinion commentary piece from the Wall Street Journal. Now,
that was it. No acknowledgement of specifics, no mention of particular incidents, no hint at whether the officiating crews had been reminded to protect player safety. To a lot of people, it felt like a way to move on without actually addressing the criticism. Other players began speaking up. Sophie Cunningham said flat out in an interview that she thought Clark was getting targeted and that the league needed to be consistent. A few veterans agreed that it was obvious she was taking more off-ball hits than most.
Very interesting but touchy topic, man. That is Caitlin Clark's civil rights being broken.
Yeah, I would like for her to just play through it sometimes, but I get it too because she's getting slapped, she's getting held, and those are the things that injured her.
When it comes from fellow athletes, especially ones who've been in the game long enough to know what normal physicality looks like, it adds weight. That made the silence from the WNBA offices even harder for fans to accept. Then things went from basketball controversy to national politics. Congressman Jim Banks sent a formal letter to the league's commissioner, asking what they were doing to protect Clark and why certain incidents hadn't been penalized.
And they come to a conclusion that they believe she is being unfairly treated. That is going to be a problem for the WNBA.
He framed it as a question of workplace safety in professional sports, which is not something you usually hear in the same breath as a regular season game. This wasn't just a rant on talk radio anymore. It was an elected official demanding answers on paper. And that's when a new angle hit.
Certain fouls on certain players, but especially when it comes to Caitlin Clark, it's just almost like they want her to get hurt.
Originally, I was a little bit surprised at what just happened, and then I was surprised that the officials did not go to the monitor to review it because obviously it was a flagrant one.
The Wall Street Journal ran a piece bringing up that if Clark is getting treated differently by officials, and that affects her performance or her time on the court, it could have an impact on her earnings. Fewer points, fewer highlights, fewer endorsement opportunities, that's money. From there, some legal experts started raising the possibility that it could be seen as a civil rights issue under laws that are meant to protect employees from unequal treatment in their workplace.
That no player in the WNBA since 2024 have took the amount of fouls, the assaults that Caitlin Clark has.
Is calling, or at least saying out loud, that maybe Caitlin Clark's civil rights are actually being violated.
So now, the league's keeping quiet while the player at the center of their recent surge in TV ratings and ticket sales is caught in the middle. And if their silence keeps up, the question might not just be about officiating anymore.
Clark was your daughter. What if Caitlin Clark was your aunt, your niece, somebody in your family that was taking the type of beating that she has been taking?
Hold. There's another grab. I mean, all of those are fouls. Every single one of them. And here, that's a foul, and finally...
It could be about how much they're willing to risk when one player is helping drive the biggest surge of attention the sport has had in years. This isn't just about a hard foul anymore. Now we're talking money, safety, the league's reputation, and even wet.